Chapter 20. The Takeover. What is the cost of space? Not Apollo outer space, just space to be, to exist in. And how much are you willing to pay for it? The young lords took space on the 28th of December. That was how it was reported in the New York Times. Harlem. The young lords, a cadre of Puerto Rican activists in East Harlem, nailed shut the doors of a church with 6-inch railroad spikes and occupied the building. That action, which came at the end of regular Sunday service at the First Spanish Methodist Church, was the latest maneuver in a series that began 3 months ago in an effort to gain church space for a free breakfast program administered by the Lords. A spokesman of the group rose and attempted to address the congregation. For the last 12 weeks, many of the 80 parishioners and 150 supporters of the Lords have come to regard such speeches as part of the service. This time, however, most of the parishioners filed out of the church, which is at Lexington and 111th Street. As they left, cross pieces were quickly nailed onto the church's 2 doors, which were also chained from the inside.
What was not in the newspapers was what went on at the church between my mother, my grandmother, and me. We were sitting in our usual spots. I on the left with Abuela, surrounded by the supporters of the young lords, and Mommy sitting on the right, surrounded by the uptight parishioners. The sad young lord made a last-minute plea for the church to let them use the space for the free breakfast program. I looked at my shoes. Abuela looked straight ahead, and most of the parishioners left. But then, suddenly, faster than I could even see, the doors were being chained shut. Seconds later, I heard pieces of wood being nailed to the doors outside. The young lords moved quickly and efficiently. This takeover had been planned way ahead of time. Confusion erupted immediately. People didn't know what to do. Were we trapped? Being held hostage? A young lord told us to stay calm, that they were going to occupy the church, that in just a while some of us could stay or go. Abuela braced herself and Mommy rushed over to me. "I'm going to stay," I said. "No, you cannot stay." "Mommy, I'm staying." "There are police outside," she said. "You're just a kid." "So are the young lords." "Then I'm staying too," Mommy insisted. Summoning all her extra weight, she sat down heavily, then spat out, "Es la culpa de tu abuela, yo lo sé." "Mommy, please. Abuela had nothing to do with me wanting to stay." Sí, es ella. It's her putting ideas into your head." I hate that expression of someone putting ideas in your head, like my head was an empty ball waiting for someone to put ideas in it. My mother went on speaking to Abuela over my empty head in fast jabs of words. Everything said between them was a restrained but searing cut. Mommy accused Abuela. "How can you come to New York and put my daughter in danger?" Abuela got right up close to Mommy's face in an attempt at privacy. "I did not put her in danger. This is happening in her own neighborhood." Mommy asked, "Did you know? There are policemen out there, outside. Did you see? They could shoot." "That happened in Ponce, not here." Mommy's face was so tight. "Cállate. Don't even dare bring that up." "Look, it does not even matter now. My husband, Evelyn's grandfather, was an ignorante who was following orders. Not my ideas. The ideas of these young people who are trying to make a difference in her life, in your life. My life is fine. I don't need young títeres telling me what I should do. Besides, my daughter is not going to get hurt." "Stop it!" I couldn't take another moment of fighting. "This has nothing to do with Ponce or grandfather or the old days. This is now, in El Barrio, in 1969. This has to do with me, and I am not a little girl." Abuela and Mommy shut up when a young lord told them to decide if we would stay in the church or go. At least 100 people were staying, and I was going to be one of them. Then Mommy and Abuela were like two little girls fighting over a prize. Me. Mommy, I won't leave Evelyn here. Abuela, then stay. Mommy, I will. Abuela, good. And so we sat in an angry pool of love. When I heard some people outside the church singing hymns in Spanish, I knew we were the insiders and they were the outsiders. That this was about the ones who stayed in against the ones who stayed out. Mommy's fists were balled tightly. Haven't you had enough? Wasn't the Ponce massacre enough to make you stop? No, it was the thing to make me start. Abuela pressed on quickly and intensely. I was at the massacre. People died in Ponce, fighting for what was right. I saw the shootout. I saw 3 guardias just walking forward, shooting at people who were trying to run away. I saw them shoot at a woman who tripped over a barricade. I saw people trying to hide in doorways, and still they were shot at. I saw a little girl killed running for her mother. Did they die for nothing? Why do you revolutionaries always think there is only one way to revolt? Mommy's voice came out in a low hiss. Your way is not the only way. We can work here. We have jobs here, the lowest paying jobs. And you live in the worst conditions. Can you not see? Abuela looked at her as if she might cry. Can you not see that the same thing is happening again and again? That's why people must always continue with the struggle for equality, Abuela said. Not this time. Not with my daughter. She is only a little girl. She is being convinced by your crazy revolutionary ideas.